Hey, what's going on, guys? Max here with Because Bitcoin. And today for 10 minutes max, we're going to be talking about USDT dominance, Bitcoin, and the general market and where I believe that it is potentially at on the higher timeframes. We are, of course, having a little bit of local volatility. In my opinion, nothing to be too concerned about. So before we do that, do me a solid and please consider liking the video and also subscribing if you are new here. So here we have USDT dominance. Couple things we're going to do. One, I'm going to change it to totally green and we are going to put it in log. Okay. And now we are going to label this appropriately just so people don't forget. So USDT dominance. Now, what is USDT dominance? USDT dominance is a percentage. All right. So you'll see here on the right side, it says 4.27%. And what this is Tether, the largest stable coin in crypto, represented as a percentage of the total crypto asset class. All right. So when it's moving down, that means that Tether, the largest stable coin, is losing market share. And when it's moving up, that means that Tether is gaining market share compared to the rest of crypto. All right. So we'll get into what this all means. But first and foremost, let's draw some trend lines. Okay. So in my opinion, we actually just had, a very significant shift of trend, not too far off from where we are right now. So basically, all the way, going back to 2018, even, you can see that we've been in this, really just solid trend. And I'll mark out, all the tabs right here. So again, first right here, we'll just make this in red. Okay. And then another one right here. And then this was, we were grinding up against it here. And then also for our 69K top. So this was, the first top, last bull market, second top, last bull market. And then recently in January, we saw something different. We saw us break through this trend line, flip it. I'll zoom in here, actually retest it, and then break down, right? Now, let's throw some other stuff on here as well, because you need to understand the relationship. And I'm going to explain where I think we're going next, okay? So let's put on total here. Now, total, again, is just everything in crypto. All right, total it's everything. It's Bitcoin, it's ETH, it's Sol, it even includes, stable coins like Tether. It's literally all of it. All right, so we're going to move this up. We'll put it onto the same pane, and we'll put it in blue. All right, here we go. And I will copy this, and I will label this total for you guys, just so we can be super clear. So again, we're interested in looking at the relationship between USDT dominance and total, which is like your S&P 500 of crypto, right? This is everything. It's your index. All right. So let's mark out these taps when USDT dominance has been grinding on this trend line. So again, right here, again, we had another one right here, which marked a local top. And then, while we were grinding here for our first top last bull market, and then, again, kind of grinding here for the second bull market. And then, of course, we had a very significant shift of trend where, in theory, we were kind of looking for, a local rejection here, and people thought we were going to get it. But then ultimately, we did blast through it. So we broke down here for USDT dominance, and total went up. Now, if you're following, you're probably caught on now that, these have a negative correlation. So, and I'll just put this in purple. I can delete these in a moment. When USDT dominance is moving down at that very same time, total, or, again, Bitcoin, ETH, everything, all of crypto is moving up. Now, why is that? Again, in the very beginning, I'd mentioned to you guys, USDT dominance is, a percentage of the market share that Tether, the largest stable coin, has. So if Tether is losing market share, again, it's dropping, the percentage, 4.28 on the right side, is dropping. That means that people presumably are deploying these stable coins into volatile crypto assets like Bitcoin and ETH and Sol and meme coins, whatever it is. So again, you can do TA on this stuff. It's actually kind of a little bit slept on in my opinion. More people should be focused on it. There's a lot of signal in it. But the way that I actually view, USDTD is kind of like a range. Okay. So we're going to identify this as our range right here. All right. So we will mark, and I'll put this in, a different color. We'll do, let's just do like a really, really obvious blue. Okay. So from from last bull market, this was, our big leg up on Bitcoin last bull market. I'll just jump over here and show you guys. And it kind of looks like it, inverse, right? You can see the kind of distribution right up top. That was right here. So from down here is that blue dot to up top here is the other blue dot, just to show you like how it kind of looks like Bitcoin. But now we're going to extend this range way over. Okay. And I think that these levels actually play quite nicely, right? So how I view this, and you guys know that I'm a big range trader, all right, is, look at how long we were, right here at this range high. And then, of course, range low, we, of course, have many interactions with, our 3/4 range and, the quarter range here, so there's a ton of interaction, on this range. And these levels, they are playing quite nicely. I've been tracking them for a bit here. But range theory suggests that a deviation to one side of a range will more times than not be met with a symmetrical deviation to the opposing side of that range. All right, so we'll just put it in red. And now, what would that imply, right? That would imply that if this is in fact a range, then more likely than not, we would come down here and put in some sort of, again, symmetrical deviation to the opposing side of that range. But, why are we bouncing right here? What does this mean? Where are we going? So let me move this over just a little bit. You can see where we're bouncing right now. Like, we have dropped aggressively after breaking out of, this breaking down off of this trend. You can see that we are now, once again, finding a little bit of support for USDT dominance at this 3/4 range here, the 0.75. And of course, locally, we are seeing a little bit of hesitation from crypto. So what would I expect here? Well, in my opinion, and I'll just zoom in a little bit here. Let's bring this up. And, it kind of messes up my dots. Well, that's okay. You guys already saw them. What would I expect from here? Well, I would maybe consider looking for something like this, right? Like we're clearly holding here at this 3/4 range. In my opinion, this range is going to play. Perhaps, we come back and retest this range high up here, which again was, is where we were holding. And that's at about 4.9%. And then, maybe we roll over, and ultimately I would expect, us to visit probably sub 2% for USDTD. And of course, if that did happen, you have to understand the significance of this relationship. If this did happen and USDT dominance nuked, that would be, total going up significantly. And the axis is over here on the left side. This would be like 10 trillion. So we don't know exactly, the time frame or, exactly how it would play out. But, the significance of this, this pair here, understanding the relationship, how they move, against each other, it's very, very important, right? Like it's extremely important. So, I do expect USDT dominance to continue to drop. We've been down, quite a bit recently. We're finding a little bit of a hold here at the 3/4 range, but I would like to see, this play all the way down here. All right, we're at 8 minutes. Let's quickly do another chart just because we always go over, right? We always go over. So here we are looking at Bitcoin, guys. And actually, I will pull up another chart here to quickly do this. I'm going to try to get as close to 10 minutes as I can. You guys know that I never make the 10-minute mark. It's unfortunate. I just can't seem to stick to 10 minutes. All right. So let's look at where we were last cycle. I actually think that these charts look quite similar. Here, let me take these colored candles off. All right, cool. So we don't even need the halvings on here, really. I want to just look at the relationship, how the charts are moving when Bitcoin gets near and actually kind of hits its previous all-time high, right? So there it was last cycle. This was the 2017 high. And then, of course, we tagged it here in November of 2020 and then ultimately had a pretty crazy bull market after. But what are we seeing again right now? In my opinion, the charts look somewhat comparable, right? Like, big top, obviously enter a bear market. We come back up. And just looking, actually zooming in, right, to see some of the local volatility right here that, in hindsight was like, why were people getting nervous, right? This was nothing, but there were, a couple indecision candles in here after sweeping the previous cycle all-time high, kind of like we're seeing right now, guys, kind of comparable to what we're seeing right now. And, it certainly feels intense and it feels, not fun to have something like that happen. But again, this is just to point out that we have had this type of local volatility around the previous cycle all-time high. Label this previous all-time high. Put this right. And again, this line here is previous all-time high, 69K. Previous all-time high. So I'm looking at this, and again, it's familiar, right? We've spent a little bit longer here this time around than we did over here. This is on a weekly time frame, so we can maybe count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 weeks after, we finally ripped upwards and had a real crazy bull market. I'd say this time we're now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on probably our 6th week. Again, nothing out of the ordinary, right? And then, going back even one more cycle, let's take a look at it, right? Let's take a look at it. Going back even one more cycle. I mean, look at this right here. Previous all-time high. So this is actually looking at, the all-time high back here in 2013, and then, in 2017 moving up. You can see that we had, again, some local volatility, right around here. And I don't know where we want to, count it from, because this was pretty crazy, right? So maybe it'd be after this. But, the type of volatility we had, you could count it as maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, from like this whole kind of climb up to all-time high, sweep it, everybody gets destroyed, and then, crazy bull market. You can see that we spent, over 3 months, right around the all-time high within a 25 or 30% range before actually going on to, do this, right? And this is in log mode. So if I put this off, you can see what happened. And then I don't think we're going to have this kind of crazy returns again. I mean, it's a much different, it's a much different asset than it was back when it was $1,000, right? But point being is, it's probably best to recognize that I've just given the previous 2 examples that we typically have, a pretty intense amount of local volatility, a pretty decent bit of local volatility, right around here. And it's best to just recognize that, people get a little bit excited, people get a little bit frothy, and it's all perfectly healthy. So again, maybe, we could even do something like this, right? You just have no idea, but we are doing and tracking kind of comparably to previous cycles and seeing the same types of games and volatility. So went a little bit over 10 minutes, but guys, thanks so much for being here. This was 10 Minutes Max, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. Before you guys go, if you could do me a solid, please like and subscribe. That would be fantastic. Additionally, if you check out the first link in the description below, you can check out our premium offerings. You can sign up for our Discord right now, where we do 2 hours per day of private live voice calls. Me and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team share all of our active positions and premium trade setups that we don't talk about here on YouTube or on X. And again, we do 2 hours of private voice calls with Q&A every single day. Additionally, we just dropped a new product called the BB Academy. It's basically a master class created by me and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team. We made it very affordable, at least while we can right now. We're going to increase the price pretty soon here, but it is $199.99, and it's basically a masterclass on how myself and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team approach markets. It's got everything that you need to get you started. I would say it's definitely beginner, intermediate, and even advanced friendly as you get further into the course. So check that out. That is the second link in the description below. And then last but not least, if you sign up right now for our Discord, within the next month and a half, you are going to get free access included in your membership to our new flagship product called the BB Terminal. It's basically a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto guys. It's got portfolio tracking, derivatives data, spaghetti charts, heat maps. I mean, literally everything that you could ever need. We've tried to take, every product that's on the market, improve it, and mush it all into one super website. And that's going to be given to you, included in your Discord membership for no additional cost. So guys, sign up sooner rather than later. Again, that's the first link in the description below for our Discord. And again, you'll be given BB Terminal access for free in the next month and a half. And then the second link is to BB Academy, where if you want to learn to chart and do analysis and really navigate markets like myself and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team, check that out before prices go up. That's the second link. So guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.